Welcome back to the channel, my friends. Warhammer Man Studios. I'm Warhammer Man, and today we need to talk about the Skaven reveals, because these things are absolutely unhinged. This video is sponsored by CMO Games. More on that later. The battle for the fortress city of Hel Crown is over, and there's nothing left to do but count the cost. The fighting was unimaginably fierce, but the relentless mass of Skaven proved too much to beleaguered defenders. The Stormcast Eternals have been defeated, and now an endless tide of rat men pour across the adamantine chain. The landscapes ruptured by the new gnawholds, and the city claimed in the unholy name of the Great Horned Rat. The direst truth of all this, the broken realm gate within the Caldera has been secured, and the Skaven are working to reopen this route to the realms of chaos, which would leave them free to launch further attack across all of the 8 realms. Alright, so we have a official Skaven victory, and as promised, we get all of the Skaven reveals ahead of time, and then we'll get the Stormcast to follow, and I've got to say, I am really looking forward to this. So the first model and a brand new centerpiece, we have Vizzik Skour, Prophet of the Horned Rat. And I've got to say, this is absolutely amazing. It is much more in like the grimdark sense of Games Workshop that we're more familiar with. This has like some full-on Usharan vibes and just the overall like dingy, dark evilness of this. Absolutely beautiful. So we currently have from Skaven like the big Vermin Lords and like a few different ways that you can build that kit. And that model is absolutely amazing. You have 4 different variants and they're all super cool. But this guy just completely takes it to the next level. The details on the horns, all of like the various textures. We've got everything from like chainmail, fur, flesh. We've got bone, we've got cloth. There's all kinds of like metallic elements in here. We see all kinds of ruins, a tactical rock, an epic looking tail. This thing is just on another level and absolutely amazing. And we were recently talking about how some of the 40k releases lately have been like a little lackluster. They look like very generic, computer generated, like CAD files. People were saying that they look more like they were created by AI and not like actual original sculpts. And this is just the complete opposite. I mean, it's very clear that like the A team for Games Workshop is currently working on Age of Sigmar. It's B game. And then the A game, Warhammer 40k, is getting like the C or like D squad of designers. The actual game itself is fine. I love the elements that they have tied in between Sigmar and 40k. I think both editions are the best editions Games Workshop has ever produced. Not to say that they're not without flaws, but it's very clear that the model design is definitely getting favored for Sigmar. So let's get a little backstory on this evil creation. When Kragnos escaped from his mountain prison in Gur, he unleashed a wave of primal energy that was felt even in Blight City. A protean demon of ruin emerged from the heart of the Master Burrow, and only prayers to the Great Horned Rat could quell its rage. When the Vermin Doom secured the Skaven god's place in the Pantheon of Chaos, he shaped his demon into Vizzik Skour, Lord of the Gnaw and Prophet of the Horned Rat. Alright, so let's take a look at some of these details here. So we can see like some areas where we have like ruins grafted into his back. We can see all of like the various textures, little bits of like warp glow going on here. We obviously have the fur, the chainmail, the armor, the flesh, just absolutely crushing it with this detail. We have like the super like daunting and like menacing looking claws right here, the tattered and torn like capes and cloaks. This awesome sword kind of on his side here. Everything from like a cloth kind of like sheath with like rope wrappings. We can see runes carved on the blade, actual battle damage on it, teeth on the back. Absolutely amazing. And then even the detail in the tactical rock, we see like a little bit of like liquid kind of textured into the bottom here. Very clear like ruins of the realm. We do see once again the hooves have been incorporated here. That's always been a high point of contention with the Skaven, as obviously rats normally have like the weird claws, hands, feet, all that. But we do see Games Workshop often leaning in on chaos with the hooves. So we see them incorporated here as well. Here we got like a little rat with some warp scones standing on him for a little extra added detail. And then here the clear face. And they've done a phenomenal job of having like super scraggly like details. Tons of little bits and stuff added on. But between the actual sculpt and the paint job, the face is just very clear. A very nice like focal point for your eyes. I love the way that the actual horns are not symmetrical. They're just kind of like all over the place and crazy. Beautiful model. Definitely an awesome centerpiece. This guy 100% belongs at the head of a Skaven horde. He rules from Hexenest, the great cathedral at the center of Gnaw, and spreads the death frenzy to his vile congregation. These devout ratmen foam at the mouth and attack with bloodthirsty zeal, rarely seen in Skaven, while Vizzik himself uses his Gnaw staff to cleanse the realm of non-believers, be they enemies or fellow Skaven he deems wanting. All right, and then next we have Krittok Foulblade. So again, beautifully done. We see like some nice, crisp, clean armor with the red paint scheme. We see a very eccentric, awesome blade with all kinds of different like angles and details on it. The cool, chaotic like trophy racks with some banners coming off from them. And then he's got like his little ratling friend down here holding his sheath. Again, really nice tactical rocks, little rats, beautiful textures, very well done. The infamous Krittok Foulblade stands apart from the other Claw Lords by dint of his cold, calculating frugality. He would gladly dispatch clan rats to their death en masse, as is his right, but he is in the opinion that those saved today may be more efficiently ordered to the deaths tomorrow, and they will perhaps fight a little harder in appreciation of his munificence. Alright, so again, we've got a little bit of Warpstone here, another little assistant holding his pistol, a little zoom in on the actual like rat holding his sheath, a couple little rats scurrying around the base. Nice look at the back and the armor and everything. And one thing I absolutely love about the Skaven is they have like nice armor, they have cool weapons, but they also look like they literally just crawled out of the sewer. Very, very nice sculpts, beautifully done. These models are off the chain. His apparent charity has cultivated a loyal following from whom he can trust to enact his plans. He owes his unnatural longevity and his vigor in combat to the blade Doomfang. A twisted sword contained the soul of the Vermin Lord who sought to use Krittok to betray Vizzik. In moments of dire need, it almost seems as if Doomfang wields itself, and sure enough, Krittok is forced to bargain with the Vermin Lord for each use, clipping a second, an hour, or even a day off his sentence of imprisonment. So very cool. Again, we're getting like a lot of the backstory, a lot of cool lore aspects being thrown in here. I love the story of Angron having like the trapped Keeper of Secrets in his blade. I love the aspect here, once again, where you have a trapped Vermin Lord inside of the blade. Very, very cool. And then Games Workshop has done a phenomenal job recently incorporating these like various rules and having like immense benefits, but also damaging side effects. And honestly, I love it. Now a quick message from today's sponsor. CMO Games has been selling Games Workshop products online for over 20 years. They carry the full line of Games Workshop products, including Warhammer 40,000, Age of Sigmar, Necromunda, Blood Bowl, paint tools, and more. Almost all Games Workshop products are priced at 15% off MSRP. CMO Games takes pre-orders for most Games Workshop products released at their earliest date possible. 12:01 a.m. on Saturday, they go live. Most of these pre-order products are also priced at 15% off MSRP. CMO Games offer free shipping in the US 48 with an order of $50 or more. Their customer service is top-notch and they ship most orders within 24 hours. Visit CMOGames.com using the affiliate link in the description and let them know that you heard about CMO Games from Warhammer Man. Now, back to the video. Next, we have the Master Moulder. The hulking brood terror has already torn its way out of the containment cells in the clan's Moulder laboratories and into the battlefield. Now it's time to witness the twisted mind behind its creation. Master Moulders have had their own flesh, malformed for years of exposure of warpstone and self-experimentation. They take the field in control of packs of lumbering rat ogres, always on the lookout for new test subjects to snare with their cruel thing catchers. Alright, so here we have a Master Moulder. Again, just awesome weapon right here. Obviously designed to poke, prod, or grab a hold of a rat ogre or an enemy if it gets too close. We see the incorporation of like some crazy experimentation as we have like basically a part rat kind of like grafted into the side of this dude. Massive like tumors on top with rats scurrying about them. He's got a cool pistol. Very, very cool. Very awesome detail. Again, Games Workshop just knocking it out of the park with these Age of Sigmar models. Alright, and next we have these Stormvermin. And honestly, the old Stormvermin held up pretty good considering how old they are. So we know these are going to be like next level as they're only going to be getting better. Skaven are known for their craven, backstabbing nature, but the label does not apply to the muscled and armored Stormvermin. Marked at birth after ruthlessly devouring their littermates, Stormvermin are subject to a strict training regime that only reinforces their brutal mentality. Armored with vicious halberds, they are the mailed claw of the clan Verminus, savagely carved through the enemy ranks with a discipline unimaginable to most Skaven. Alright, so these are like the elite infantry of the Skaven. Again, we see some awesome incorporations of like various weapons, awesome armor, and then still like the rags of clothing underneath. We have a musician, we have a leader, we have a banner bearer, and then we still have like the double-handed halberds. Again, really nicely done with the armor. I love how they've incorporated all the like various like notches and battle damage, the spikes, the combination of not only armor but cloth, chainmail. They've just done a really good job here. We see a bunch of like various little bits on the bases as well. Really nice looking models right here. Definitely a huge fan. Again, Games Workshop just knocking it out of the park with these. I love that there is enough similarities between their armor that clearly they have like the elite and nicest stuff, but they still have that like very dingy rat look to them. Very well done. Alright, and next we have the Arch-Warlock. So these are some of my favorite style Skaven. Again, beautiful tactical rock right here. Awesome, awesome weapon. We have that like kind of warpstone, steampunk thing going on where we essentially have like a big mechanical arm, like sort of a power claw in a sense. Clearly powered by a combination of like warpstone and crazy like tech magic. The clan Skour are each ruled by an equal parts ingenious and dangerous Arch-Warlock. These experts in warp science are the master inventors behind great death-spitting machines, from the rattling warp blasters to their own persona apparatus. These various gizmos grant the Arch-Warlocks crude control over magical energy, which they hoard in various aether accumulators before unleashing it in destructive blasts. And then we have the Warlock Galvaneer. Again, just very well designed, awesome, awesome look to these guys. Definitely have like a new feel to them. Very much fit in with the new range. We see them also incorporating a lot of like the old stuff, just kind of brought up to a fresh sculpt. Obsessed with highly dangerous and barely controllable warp lightning, the Warlock Galvaneers are some of the most deranged members of the clan Skour. In power, use their warp volt obliterators to empower other similar devices, as well as directing fulminating fusillades at their enemies. So again, we see them incorporating like some of the lore and rules into these guys. So it's very likely that they're going to be able to essentially like boost the output of close by like war machines, or just fire off a blast with this thing on their own. All right, and then we have the Acolyte Globadiers. So these are some of my favorite models of all time. The old ones look super cool, and these are just next level. Once again, they've kept a lot of the similarities between the old models, but they have just dialed them up to 10. The paint jobs on these look awesome. I love like the kind of gas masks, the big backpacks and everything. And then we see obviously all of the globes all over, powered by warpstone. Below the Warlocks of Clan Skour are all sorts of flunkies and factotums. Among them, the Acolyte Globadiers. Ensconced in protective gear, they are armed with the poison wind globes, swirling vessels of gaseous warpstone which dissolve those who inhale it. Each Acolyte is keen to prove their genius and will tinker with the suits endlessly. And the Warlocks carefully keep tabs on these bespoke improvements in case they can claim them for their own. Alright, and then we have the Warplock Weapon Batteries. Skaven are fond of the ranged weapons due to their innate cowardice, and the clan Skour have provided manifold new weapons of destruction collectively known as Warpspark Weapon Batteries. Deployed alongside teeming swarms of clan rats, these rattling guns, warp fire throwers, and warp volt scourgers are effective tools for destruction, which have their handlers cackling with manic glee, often moments before the contraption blows up in their own face. So again, we know that these things have a possibility to always damage themselves. We see basically like the Gatling gun look right here. I love that they like run in teams. We have not only like your typical kind of Skaven models, but we also have like giant mutated rat as part of the teams as well. Very, very cool. And then we see the warp fire throwers. Once again, we have like the guy carrying the extra ammunition or like fuel for this. We see various different like shapes and forms of these. I love that they still have like similarities to each other, but each one is unique in its own right. These models are absolutely beautiful. Again, really, really nice paint jobs. And then we have the Warp Volt Scourgers. So again, we see the incorporation of not just like the rat assistants, but also like the giant rats as well. Warpstone all over. Very, very cool. These are just amazingly well done. Games Workshop is crushing it with this range. All of the new Skaven look absolutely amazing. I've got to say, as somebody that's been waiting for a Skaven refresh for literally decades, it was 100% worth the wait. These are amazing. All right, and next we have the Warp Grinder. So again, like a little team right here. We have a Warpstone, like sort of drill bit on the front of this thing. Cool little energy kind of crackling on the back. Beautiful combination of like organic matter in the Skaven themselves, the mechanical nature of the weapons, and then also like the magical energy of the Warpstone. Even their insatiable will to consume does not allow the burrowing Skaven to breach the walls of reality. The clan Skour are not willing to let such inconveniences stand in their way. So these unhinged boffins have developed Warp Grinders, tools that focus the energy of Warpstone into a beam that can bore through the skin of reality itself, and which makes short work of trivialities such as steam tanks, mega gargants, and charging maw gruntas. Okay, so that's my bad. This is not a drill. It's basically like a laser focus point. Very, very cool. All right, and then we have the Doom-Flayers. So I've got to say, I love the old Doom-Flayers and like the look of them. These are very, very cool as well. Definitely a different look as the riders kind of like on the back. They have an amazing mechanical wheel feel to them, and then massive blades coming out the front. Originally designed as mining devices, the whirling and unpredictable Doom-Flayers have been turned into military weapons. Any Skaven in control of these vulgar devices is likely to gun the engineer for all it's worth, carving great furrows in the ground as these bladed wrecking balls hurl into enemy ranks to mulch them. Alright, and then what better way to kind of wrap up this reveal, but obviously the new Skaven Battletome on its way. These will be contained within Battletome Skaven, which is the ultimate guide to the Skaven in Warhammer Age of Sigmar. These books have undergone a mighty redesign in the new edition, and we'll be exploring what they look like soon. So here we have the traditional Skaven Codex cover. Alongside the regular hardback edition of this book, stuff with the lore and rules you're used to, there will also be a limited number available in new format. These are the Gamers Editions, designed for players who want all their rules in one package. The Battletome is a smaller format softbook that fits in a backpack and comes with a complete set of reference cards and a cardboard envelope to pack all your essentials. Alright, so I'm not sure exactly what they're getting at right here, because the actual tomes are normal book size, and obviously you can fit a normal book in a backpack, so I'm not sure if this is actually going to be smaller, or if it's just a sort of package deal that includes the cards as well. I'm sure we'll hear a little bit more about that from Games Workshop in the future, but definitely nice to see that they're trying some different things here, because honestly the idea of selling all these limited edition books where they charge twice as much just for a different cover is pretty ridiculous. It was one thing when it was extra 10 or 20 bucks for the cool limited edition or special edition, but when Games Workshop basically started doubling the price for the collector's edition with no real added benefit, and they bloated up to double price, it was pretty ridiculous. So the idea of being able to get a package deal with some added benefit, whether it's smaller or condensed rules or the addition of the Warscroll cards, at least they're trying something different that's actually more appealing and provides some value to the customers rather than just a little extra money in their pockets. There will also be a set of regular Warscroll cards available to purchase separately, covering the Naughty's Clawpack Spearhead and the 43 Skaven Warscrolls. It wouldn't be a faction release without a set of dice, and you'll be able to call on the blessings of the Great Horned Rat with a set of 16 green dice with bright green ink. On top of all that, certain miniatures will break free of the confines of Skaventide box alongside these releases, including the Clawlord on Gnawbeast, Rat Ogres, Clan Rats, Rattling Warp Blaster, alongside Thanaquil on Bone Ripper, and the Plague Pack. What news then of the Stormcast Eternals, wounded and broken? They have retreated from Hel Crown, losing the battle but not the war. Sigmar has reinforcements ready to unleash. You'll just have to keep a glowing blue eye on the Warhammer community. Alright, so we know that there's going to be some Stormcast releases here soon alongside the Battletome. I would imagine a similar amount of releases as well, which after seeing all this stuff for the Skaven, I am just super stoked to see what the Stormcast are getting. These Skaven models are next level. It's very clear that Games Workshop still has the ability to make absolutely amazing and beautiful models, from just base core infantry all the way up to massive centerpiece monsters. I'm not sure why all of the attention is getting devoted to Age of Sigmar. It's definitely costing on the 40k side, as some of the miniatures and box set of late have been lackluster. But to tell you the truth, that's perfectly fine with me, because I am loving Age of Sigmar. So far the new edition's been fun. I've gotten to play some games. I do enjoy it, but the models are just out of this world. So let me know what you're most excited about. Are you going to be supporting the Skaven? Are you choosing the side of Holy and waiting to reinforce your ranks of Stormcast Eternals? Always like to hear back from you guys in the comments. Let me know what your favorite model is, what kind of elements you like in this, and what you think of the recent 40k reveals relative to the recent Age of Sigmar reveals. And as always, special thanks to CMO Games for sponsoring the channel. Check out the link in the description to save 15% on Games Workshop products. That's it for today. Warhammer Man Studios, I'm Warhammer Man, and these Skaven are sick. And I'm out of here.